Hello and welcome to Uliza, the show that answers your questions on how things are done and how they are made. I am Swela Switara and it's a great pleasure to be with you. On Uliza, we get your questions and give you the answers you're looking for, with fascinating insights of ins and outs of the topics at hand. It's simple. If you want to know something, just Uliza. Send in your questions on our Facebook page, Uliza East Africa, Twitter at Uliza EA, Instagram, Arimas Media, #Uliza. Sharon from Nairobi received a glass vase as her birthday present. She got curious onto how the different glassware are made and posed the question to Uliza. Of course, the Uliza team took up the challenge. We visited Anselm Kitengela Hot Glass. Bordering the Nairobi National Park on the cusps of a ridge called Kiserian, meaning the blessed in the Maasai language, the Kitengela Hot Glass was started and is owned by Anselm Kroes. In 1991, he trained in Holland with glass masters Willem and Bernard Hansen. Decades later, Anselm is known as a dream merchant for his creation. He employs 35 people full-time in the company. The flexibility innovation at Anselm Kitengela Hot Glass have been key to its growth in Kenya and East Africa at large. Let's take a look at the glass making process and establish what it takes to create beautiful glass.
In this company, they recycle used bottles. The first stage is collection. Once assembled in the collection bin, the glass is sorted out in their various colors, some brown, olive, green, clear, amongst others. In this case, clear glass is collected for the product needed. Wood glass is then crushed into smaller pieces on a collection surface in readiness for feeding into the furnace. These pieces are then fed into the furnace for 8 to 12 hours at temperatures of 1100 degrees Celsius. A metallic blow-in pipe with a hollow tip is used to scoop the molten glass. The end must be relatively hot for easy scooping. A very hot blow-in pipe can cause bubbles into the molten glass, rendering it unusable. The scooped glass on the blow-in pipe is rolled by the first etcher on his hand wrapped with wet newspaper. Using a pair of tweezers called a shaping jack, the molten glass is rolled into the desired circular figure to get the stem and ball achieved through blow-in. This is done by an experienced etcher, as too much or too little blowing may destroy the desired results. Stage 3 is the footing stage. Here, the base is added by scooping some extra molten glass, which is placed on the end of the glass, then rolled on a hard, wet wooden surface to artistically achieve the desired circular base. A special coil of molten glass is prepared on a stainless metal bar and attached to the base in order to help handle the glass. An opening for the boil is also created by cutting the former holding point off the blowing pipe. Stage 4 is the advanced shaping stage. Here, the already advanced in stages glass is inserted in a blowly hole canal which has pressurized hot air blowing at 1600 degrees Celsius. This opens and widens the boil. It is then pulled out for decoration. This time, the glass is spiraled while hot molten glass is carefully poured on it to create a toiling decoration round the glass. The decorated glass is then taken back to the canal while the etcher keeps rolling the metal bar. Once satisfied, the etcher pulls it out and with expertise shakes it into a floppy shape. Finally, the holding coil at the base is cut by hitting it gently. The glass is then taken to a coolant called an annealer at 500 degrees Celsius. This is the annealing process where temperatures are reduced gradually for a period of 8 to 12 hours to room temperature. The glass is packed and ready for delivery.
I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. The next time I pick up a set of handmade glasses, ornaments or a vase, I will certainly be thinking of the effort and the skill that goes into the process. Congratulations to the Kitengela Hot Glass staff, and thank you for letting Uliza capture your work on camera. We are taking a break, but when we get back, we will find out what is Wi-Fi and how exactly does it work. Welcome back to Uliza, the show that answers your questions on how things work and how they are made. On Uliza, we get your questions and give you answers. Do you want to know how something in particular works, or maybe even what it means? Just Uliza. On to our next question. What is Wi-Fi? Wi-Fi is a wireless network that is used to connect to the internet without the use of hardwired cable lines. This is one of the smart technology that has grown globally. Institutions, restaurants, and even some cities have seen the critical sense of providing the wireless services to their residents and clients. One example is the Central District of Nakuru County. But the real question is, how exactly does Wi-Fi work? Let's take a look.
What is wireless internet? Wireless networking, which is often just known as Wi-Fi, is a way of getting broadband internet without wires. Wi-Fi allows you to connect several computers at once, anywhere in the house, or if you have a laptop, to even use your computer in the garden. You don't need to install extra phone lines or cables. Millions of people already connect to the internet using Wi-Fi. It's also known as wireless networking or wireless fidelity. Wi-Fi is widely installed in cafes, airports, and many other public buildings. If you have seen someone at your local coffee shop surfing the internet on a laptop computer, they are probably using a Wi-Fi network. How does Wi-Fi work? Wi-Fi creates a network in your home or office, a little zone where computers can get broadband internet. It uses radio waves just like TV or mobile phones. You may sometimes hear this zone referred to as a WLAN, otherwise known as Wireless Local Area Network. A device called a wireless transmitter receives information from the internet via your broadband connection. The transmitter converts the information into a radio signal and sends it. You could think of the transmitter as a mini radio station broadcasting signals sent from the internet. The audience for these transmissions is the computer or computers, as more than one can connect at the same time, which receives the radio signal via something called a wireless adapter. The whole process, meanwhile, works in reverse, with the computer sending information to the wireless transmitter. It then converts them and sends them via your broadband connection.
Interesting. For a very long time, people believed the term Wi-Fi stood for wireless infidelity. However, the inventors of the term clarified that it was only a catchy term and was not derived from those two terms. Now we know it. The next time you're logging into the Wi-Fi, you know how to go about it. We are taking a break, but when Uliza comes back, stay with us. Welcome back to Uliza. Have you ever wondered how some of the artistic designs are captured on umbrellas, cups, and other merchandise? Well, today we are highlighting the process of screen printing. Let's take a look.
The first step is inscription of words or pictures chosen for printing on the computer so that a photo film is developed. The film is placed on a screen printer. A screen printer is a machine that uses a woven mesh to support an ink blocking stencil to receive a desired image. Oil is used to evenly spread out the film on the screen. On 8, several screens are mounted. The film has to imprint itself on the screen. This is done through a process called coating. Coating is important for transferring of an image from film to screen. A chemical known as photocoat is applied on the screen so that the film imprints itself on it. The screen is dried up under the sun for a few seconds. Water is sprayed on the screen so that the imprinted image of the film is displayed on the screen. An oil paint reducer is poured on the board of the screen to dilute the ink, then dried up using a blow dryer. The next step is setting. The screen is covered with strips of sellotape so that it is not darted. This eases the cleaning up process for future use. The screen is then mounted on the printing machine. PVC ink, which is used for synthetic materials like umbrellas, is poured on the screen attached to the board. The stencil is now ready for printing on the umbrellas. A single umbrella is placed on the printing board just below the printing screen. A fill blade or squeegee is moved across the screen stencil, forcing or pumping ink into the mesh openings for transfer by capillary action during the squeegee stroke. The image on the screen prints itself on the umbrella. This process is also known as silkscreen, serigraphy or serigraph printing. One color is printed at a time, so several screens can be used to produce a multicolored image or design.
I am sure you enjoyed that. It is really interesting to see how different elements work together to create the final image. As Uliza comes to a close, thank you for joining us, and we hope that the program has answered some of your questions on how things are made and even how they work. If you want to know something, just Uliza. Send in your questions on our Facebook page, Uliza East Africa, Twitter at Uliza EA, Instagram, Arimas Media, #Uliza. Tune in next week for an even more exciting and informative show. I have been your host, Soila Soitara. Remember, if you want to know more, just Uliza. See you next week.